you for the opportunity in interviewing me. I have received the questions and I'm going to proceed to answering them in order. All right, so your first question to me is if there's training available for new agents. As a matter of fact, there is training available. Some of it comes at a fee, but for the most part, we want you to be successful in our operations. So we'll provide training for you at no charge. We could train you on anything from MLS listings, on your skills in rehashing objections, on how to obtain new clients, new business, and the list goes on and on. All relative and all here available for you in order to make you fully successful in real estate. Next question I received from you is how are commissions split between agents? That is the key question because everybody's in this business to make money. So, for the most part, the traditional commission that is charged to a client is that of 6%. That 6% commission, depending on how the transaction goes through, is split many different ways. Let's say the traditional transaction happens between your client, yourself, and then another agent helps in obtaining the actual customer that is going to purchase a property. So now you have multiple parties involved in this transaction. If that is the case, as is most of the transactions where you obtain the listing and someone looks it up on the MLS, for example, brings a client, and we go into contract, you're going to split the commission. Typically, people think two ways, but it's actually split four ways. And let me explain how that works. Obviously, these numbers I'm going to throw at you right now aren't common in California because our property values are a lot higher, but for illustrative purposes, they're going to be great. Let's go based on a $100,000 transaction. For that $100,000 transaction, the average commission that's charged to the client, so when they sign the agreement for the listing, is that of 6%. 6% then is divided between two offices for the two parties that are involved in the transaction. That 6% being divided by two is going to be 3% for one office, 3% for the other. Each office receives, in essence, $3,000. Well, how is that divided within the office? Most agents and their brokers have an agreement. Typically, it's a 60-40 commission split. So that 60-40 commission split means that the agent, which went out did the work, is going to get about 60% of the transaction, and the broker, which did the hard work of opening their office, providing all the signage, and also the ability for you to pretty much put the listing, and they're putting their license on the line, they get 40% of that transaction for doing so. So from that $3,000, you're going to split it where the agent's going to get $1,800 and the broker is going to get $1,200, equaling $3,000, and that's going to happen on both sides. So hopefully that answers the question of commissions. Next question, what fees are required? And that is a lovely question. A lot of people don't think about these things, and great thing that you asked. Okay, well, in having your license, there are many different fees that people don't even think about. You just think about your licensing with the state. But there are other fees that you also run into. For example, you have a fee for being part of the MLS. You want to be able to see listings, what's out there, what you can sell, and you need access to the system. So there's a fee involved. A lot of people don't think of that. Next, there's many random little fees. I could go on and on about them. But another one would be being part of the Association of Realtors. You want to be a part of that association, that's going to cost you a little bit because they have their overheads, they have their marketing, and all those lovely commercials that you see on TV. Those cost money, so it costs money to be a part of that. All right, and let's move on a little bit. We don't need to get to a meeting, so let's see. Are agents required to work in the office? Let's see. At set times. One of the beauties in being a realtor is you don't have set times. You set your own times. One of the downfalls is you don't have a salary. If you work, you hustle, you get money. If you don't get anything. So it's best if you do have an office space. A lot of brokerages will offer you space at a fee of that space, so this way the office doesn't get crowded. They want their top producers there, and the top producers are those that are actually going to make money. and they're going to be able to afford to have office space, use of copy machines, use of a desk, use of a computer. All that costs money and to the broker, and that is passed on to you. Obviously, the brokerage doesn't want someone not producing sitting in the office, so it could get a little pricey depending on the office you are. But if you're successful, you're producing, that's not even going to matter because you're going to be making so much commission that you're going to be doing great with that. All right, and you could work from home as well. I love doing so, but I tend to get a little lazier when I'm at home. I get comfortable. There's a TV available. There's all kinds of different distractions, so you might just want to go work in the office, and I recommend it. All right, let's move on. How do agents obtain property listings? They magically fall from the sky. You get phone calls from tons of customers that want to sell their house. No, far from that. You have to go out there. You have to network. You have to build your own network. You have to, everywhere you're at, you have to sell yourself. People will list with you because of who you are. Who you represent is also very important. You want to associate yourself with a reputable office. Someone that when they Google them online, they're going to be able to see that everybody's had success with them. If you don't choose a proper office or you don't have proper rapport, it's going to be very, very hard to obtain listings. You have to be trustworthy yourself, and people have to know you or know of you through others in order for you to build your book of business. I could do a full couple hours on marketing and how to go out and obtain clients, but basically it's hard work. You have to go out, you have to mine your leads. I've gone as far as going out, knocking on doors, passing out door hangers, whatever it takes. You have to build your rapport. They have to know you. They have to trust you in order to be able to entrust you with such a big transaction and such a big part of their life. All right, and let's move on to the next question. Okay, so ask the agent about the future outlook on the real estate profession. It's actually gotten a lot better since we got rid of all the agents. A lot of them fell out back when the downturn happened back in 2006, 2007. At that time, since so much money was being made and so many little things were being regulated, everybody wanted to be a real estate agent, and it was really easy to do so. And it was easy to get a deal done. Honestly, there's jokes that have been made where, in order for someone to be able to buy a house, they had to pass the mirror test. What was the mirror test? You put a mirror in front of their mouth, and if it fogs up, that means they're alive and they could get a loan in the house. Fortunately, those times are gone. That caused a huge downturn in our economy. A lot of people went into foreclosure, lost a lot of the homes that had loans that should have never been made. So now the future outlook on real estate is much more stable. Our interest rates have been at a historic low, which means properties are a lot more affordable. Even though whenever the rates are low, property values go up, and it pretty much it creates a atmosphere where if people want to buy, they have to be really responsible in doing so. If they could afford the rates now, and with all the regulations that's in place, then you have much more solid loans. There's going to be less foreclosures, and the outlook is just looking great. And let's go to the final question. Let's see. All right, it looks like I've answered most of the questions. I see one here related to the drought and how I think it might affect the future of real estate here in California. Well, we do live in the sunniest state in the nation. It has been dry for the past 4 years, but then again, we also have the best weather. We've managed to muscle through these last 4 years of drought. But then again, everybody that lives here has lived here their whole life. We do have a percentage of people that migrate over to California, but I don't think that drought's going to really sway their opinion about California. If you go to other parts of the country, you have other issues. You have Tornado Alley right now, where they've had over 100 touchdowns in the past week or so. So things happen. People get used to the weather, but name another state where you could go surfing the same day, snowboarding the same day, and you could go out to the desert, or you could go out to pretty much out the country, all within the driving distance away, or you can even go out of state and go gamble in Vegas. You can't really do that anywhere else, so there's many other things that outweigh the drought. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. Hope everything goes well, and good luck. Thank you very much.